stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. Before we get started, I want to announce, as we always do, that we are recording this meeting, and we will post it in its entirety on our City of Luna Pier YouTube channel. We'll do a roll call.
Harry.
Here.
Needing.
Here.
Wong.
Here.
Osluper.
Here.
Spatulski. Mayor Gardner.
Here.
And Wakeman is absent excused.
Thank you very much. Moving on to the agenda, we have one thing to add. It's the police report that we have here. Don't think there's any other changes to the agenda. Do I have a motion to, go ahead.
I propose a motion to approve the consent agenda items A through B, including the police report as presented within the reading.
Support.
We have a motion and support. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. Thank you very much. Bills of warrants. Do I have a motion?
I propose a motion to approve bills of warrant number 14247 paid in the amount of $83,335.63 and bills warrant number 14248 unpaid in the amount of $11,882.88 and the Visa in the amount of $1,220.90 as presented waiving the reading.
Support.
We have a motion and support. Any discussion or questions? We'll go to a roll call vote.
Needing.
Yes.
Osluper.
Yes.
Wong.
Yes.
Harry.
Yes.
Mayor Gardner.
Yes. Thank you very much. Motion carried. Moving on to presentation, I'd like to ask Mike Lucarelli, are you ready? If you step up to the microphone here, and we'll kind of catch you off to the side there in the video, but we should be able to hear everything. Okay, thank you. And we'll give you about 10 minutes, is that good?
Yes, that's fine.
All right.
Yes.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Mayor Jim. Also, thank you, City Council. Excuse me. My name is Michael Lucarelli. I'm a Luna Pier resident for the past, I guess, 28 or 29 years. Thank you for allowing me to speak here tonight. Again, thank you, Mayor. Thank you, City Council. And also, thank you, DDA, for adding me to the agenda tonight. I also want to thank the public for their support who are listening today on YouTube for everything they've done and for showing up at the DDA meeting and so on and so forth. So thank you. I want to hand out kind of like an olive branch to the city because there's been some past issues that I want to kind of get past because this is very important for the city. I think we all have the same goals. I think that basically my vision, but basically it's not just me, I'm trying to follow the city's vision as it relates to the master plan, as it relates to the downtown development. So I'm not trying to go outside of those visions. This may be a chance of a lifetime actually for the city. Never before in the last 40 or 50 years has anybody come up and tried to develop those downtown properties. And why is it so important? Because if you look at this page, I'm going to jump here to this page. It shows you the location of the properties. The properties are literally adjacent to the beach, the lighthouse, the fishing pier, the city park. I mean, it is very important that these properties become integral part of the city, rather than just being displaced. So I think it's important that we all take our best shot at this, because again, it's been decades since anybody's been able to even get to a point where we can develop these properties. So that's why I give you this information. Now, it's not about me. I love the idea of having the planning, pre-planning committee, And also the DDA, because the DDA, when I looked up in these paperwork, all comes from the website of the city today, they really are an integral part of all of this. Background. The city itself is small. It's a very small downtown. We all know that. Parking is limited. We've got that covered. When the visitors come, as we perceive they will, we don't have a lot of wiggle room, so to speak. But what we do have is we've got height. We can go up. Now the visitors can see the lake. They're coming here to see the lake. Now they can see the lake. Plus, we increase our seating capacity by about 50 to 60% with the new visitors. This boardwalk option is really the fourth option we presented. I love it. I think it's a great idea. The public likes it a lot. What we've done is kind of try to recreate the original boardwalk of the downtown Luna Pier dance floor, but on land. Believe it or not, that's kind of the general concept of this. It fulfills the joint agreement to develop these properties. And some people might go, well, why would you need that? It's a very, not well-used street. Well, correct. Maybe the 10 or 15 people go down the street, now. But we anticipate thousands one day going above, below. So this may actually fit in perfectly with the growth of the city. I did the land transfer on my side, but we needed to connect the properties in order to make this a viable development, and I'll explain why. This is not in any way a threat or anything of that nature. I just want to explain the actual truth. And if you were in my position, I think you'll understand it. That's why I have to explain it. It's just not viable to open a restaurant and serve soda pops and ice cream. It doesn't work. Examples of that, Sweet Temptation, where Beach Cafe was, they served ice cream and food and out of business, like they all have been. Another example, when I bought the liquor license in 2012 from it's called the Rail Bar, I guess it was, in Petersburg, Michigan, the woman was desperate for money. So she sold me the liquor license. Henceforth, here we are 12 or 13 years later, the building's still vacant. So you might say, well, why don't I go buy a liquor license? First off, they're not available. If you can find them, they're $75,000. It takes about a year to go through fingerprinting and background checks and so on and so forth. And it's a piece of paper. 20 years from now, if somebody gets, pardon my French, drunk and bankrupt and they want to sell it, they're going to sell it. And guess what? That building's still going to remain vacant. The bridge, on the other hand, is 100 years from now will be there. I call it the Centennial Bridge, but I'm going to leave that up to the city to whatever they want to call it. Okay? All right. What I'm requesting is action by the council to help me move forward to mitigate the liability of just doing something only to find later, guess what? You spent a lot of money, but it's not going to happen. So I want to kind of clear all those hurdles ahead of time. If by chance we can't get this to go, then I have no choice, and again, it's not a threat, but strictly from a business aspect. I have no threat but to leave, no choice, but to leave it residential, grandfathered in. The reason is quite simple. One, you don't need a site plan, but not even about that. But more importantly, you can't go back. Once you go commercial, you can't go back. Being residential, I don't want to do, but if push comes to shove, I might have to. I might be forced. It's not that I want to, but I might be forced. What that does is it, again, I think I mentioned this, it saves me a lot of money. I think I come out probably as well if I just call it the Lucarelli Residence and turn it into a glorified Airbnb, and we can, have the people bring their own booze and their own parties and their own shit, so I don't have to get involved in any of that stuff. And I think I'll probably do pretty well because it's the best location in town, so I think I'll probably be busy. I don't want to, but I just want you to know if this doesn't go through, that's the only choice I have left. We still need to get it approved by Michigan Liquor Control. They said yes initially to the street easement. They said yes to Jack regarding the boardwalk bridge, but because of the nuances of it, they do want to come in and make sure it fits everything. He's going to bring his boss in, but that looks like it's okay. So, I think I've said enough. If you read through some of the paperwork, you'll see it's pretty much I'm on track with everything that the master plan calls for, the DDA calls for, the county calls for. I'm pretty sure I'm on plan or on track. I would like to see something like this. I'm asking the city council for action to say something of this nature. And I wish you guys would come up with it, but this was my opinion. Yes, proceed with the lakeside development concept to the planning commission to include the boardwalk pedestrian bridge on your site plan. Bingo. It's not that hard to say. Once that is done or included, they have no recourse, because that was the recourse before. Well, we can't approve that because of the street. Guess what? Now, they could. And then you could also put in there something to the nature of, once this bridge is completed, that will complete Resolution 896 for the development of the street. It will also eliminate any grandfathered in clauses for residential properties at 4416. Bingo. We now have a complete developed city. No more loose ends. So that's what I would like. Now, one more question. If we don't do this, what's the alternative? Has anybody got a better idea? Anybody come up with something? Jim, would you rather see something else there? And you don't have to say it now. Now, we're also in a time crunch. The 23rd is the Planning Commission meeting. And then there's the fourth Tuesday of each month. The following one is the 27th of January. Then the next one is the 24th of February. That's really stretched out. At the next Planning Commission meeting, I can have a site plan that will include the boardwalk in the footprint, and I can also have the interior of the two buildings completed. I can get that ready and done and submitted to planning. As far as the actual boardwalk and or bridge, pedestrian bridge, that's going to take a little more time than a couple weeks. The engineers have said, there's a lot of schematics that are involved in this, load capacities. These are all professionals. It's all stamped. It's all, corrected in a way that we're, obviously, or I shouldn't say it that way, but the city would be held not liable at all, because of the stamping and because of the issues that we would put together by the engineer. And I don't want to get off track, but basically, I guess I'm asking if that's okay to have a portion of it ready by 2 weeks, and the balance, I think I can have that, the engineer complete the balance by the January 27th meeting. Real quick, one more thing. I know the buildings are grandfathered in residential and zoned commercial. I am probably going to turn Pretty Boys commercial so that my daughter can have her little beach shop, but she couldn't have it last year, but she'll have it this year. So I'm not worried about that. The one on the corner I won't. Unless the boardwalk is completed, it will remain the way it is. I hate to say it, but unfortunately that's the only choice I have, because it's just not viable. I'm not going to open and go bankrupt. Sorry guys, it's just not my nature. Okay, so that's what I'm asking, for some way to proceed this to planning so that city council at the end of planning's recommendation can make the ultimate choice, obviously. And I'm also asking that the DDA, maybe Dewey even, and or the planning commission, not the planning commission, the pre-planning people, get with me so that we can move this thing forward. Because I do need to make a decision whether I go one way or the other. I want to go with the city. I've been with the city for 30 years almost. I've been working on this, as you guys can see, over the last couple. I know I probably outdid my 10-minute time slot, but with a $500,000 project, I thought it was probably worth it. But I just wanted to say, if you want this, it'll happen. But it's up to you. It won't really affect me that much. I kind of ran all the numbers and all that. But it really would break my heart, to be honest with you, that the city would say no, but it's always up to you. I'm good either way. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mike.
Now, I do have a question. You're requesting an easement, and that's what council has the authority to grant. And that's what you're asking from council, is an easement across the road.
I'm requesting that council tells planning that they would authorize an easement if planning would authorize the site plan. Because what I run into planning, Jim, was they basically threw up their hands, and I've been to many, many planning meetings, you know, and they basically stare at each other and go, we can't do anything.
Well, hold on a second.
That's exactly what they said.
You may be asking more than the council has the authority to grant. There's planning and there's council, and there's processes to go through that. Now, you have submitted several things to planning, but you never sent a site plan to,
Whoop.
hold on. You've never submitted a site plan to change the usage to commercial. You wanted to do things.
Read the DDA. The DDA is supposed to do that, actually.
No, that's you. You
Actually, I
submit a
read it
site,
at the
no,
bottom.
anytime, hold on, Mike.
Okay.
Here's the way the process works.
Yep.
Anytime a commercial use, a use of a property changes, you have to submit a site plan. and
My
it's
daughter
reviewed.
did, yeah.
And reviewed, and what you're asking for right now, because you said it's grandfathered in, right? It's
Correct.
residential is a non-conforming, a legal non-conforming use is, I think, the proper term. That means that as long as it's residential, you don't have to do anything else. As soon as you want to do commercial activity, that's a change in usage.
Correct.
And every plan you submitted so far wanted to keep it residential.
Nope, hold on.
Yeah.
Sophie, my daughter, I got the dates, to Mike Dembski, a site plan for a beach shop at the location, and the planning said no.
No, I think the planning,
Also, yeah, planning did.
No.
It went through Mike Dembski and then the planning.
no, hold on. Your memory's a little clouded here because you said you wanted to do that at a residential and keep it zoned residential. That's what planning turned down. I remember it very clearly. It has to be, the usage has to be go
Correct.
to commercial.
What
And then
we-
you can do everything you want to do.
We asked for 2 months of temporary, my daughter to set up a beach shop because the permanent residence is where it's going to be this year, which I'm going to do, irregardless. I'm going to make it commercial.
that's
that
not
one.
permitted.
Yeah, I'm going to make Pretty Boy Floyd a commercial building for my daughter to do her beach shop, okay, without the booze or with the booze, doesn't matter. I'm going to do that. She asked for a temporary 2 months to
No,
sell
that's-
beach stuff. That's what we told Mike
That's
Dembski.
not legal. It's a commercial use. If I want to do set up a commercial store in my yard, mine's house is zoned residential. I cannot do that. I cannot do it for a month. I
Okay,
cannot
so
do it
what
for
happened,
temporary.
Jim? Okay, what happened was we applied for the commercial use, the planning in a residential place through Mike Dembski's guidance. Everything went through Mike Dembski.
Yep.
Council said no.
No, council doesn't vote on it.
Or, I'm sorry. Planning said no. So we were forced to revert
no.
to residential, which it is anyway. We
No,
never
no.
changed the
They did
use,
not
so we
turn
left it
down.
as a yard sale. But we don't want to be a yard sale. We
you
want to
said-
we want to go into
Let me-
Pretty Boys where it was supposed to be the
Let me
beginning.
refresh your memory. You submitted it as a home business in a residential area. That's what you submitted. And that's not it's commercial use. So getting back to what council has the authority to do is a grant an easement across the street. And I think that's what you're asking. And that's what we're hearing. And
Correct.
And that's going to move forward.
Not for me, to planning.
No.
Or for me, I guess.
It's our wheelhouse there.
Okay.
Planning can't,
Exactly.
they can't do it. You're asking for an easement from council, correct?
Correct, because planning can't make decisions.
Well, they don't have the authority to
Correct.
grant that property, but council has the authority to grant an easement only. And we can do that. Now, granting an easement will need some details. You know, an easement could be anything.
Yeah, so I'm going
What I'm
to,
asking for is probably a resolution that will work out to show measurements exactly, where this is going to be and everything, some detail. So we have something tangible that we can put into a resolution and solve some of the problems, because some of the things we do not have authority over, which would be the easements that we don't own, like power lines. We don't own the power line easement.
correct, I talked to the engineer about
Yeah.
that. We're good.
You would have to, so that has to be in the agreement, so we just have everything up front. I think you already know that, we know that, but it needs to be in writing.
Of course.
So what we need on the easement, which we can grant, it's up to council. I'm not voting for council. I don't have that authority. But I think personally, I would be in support of an easement, but we have something in writing to show exactly where it goes and some of the details of it, and run it through our lawyer, you run it through your lawyer, and then we have the authority to grant the easement, and then everything else goes through planning. Then it can go through planning.
Correct.
So-
Exactly.
What I can offer is, since I do set the agenda, is at the next meeting, draw up some kind of resolution. At probably the first January meeting, I think that gives us enough time. Does that sound satisfactory?
Well, I'm holding up my workers, but okay.
Well, we can't, we've got nothing here to vote on. There's nothing tangible that we can vote on.
And that's fine, Jim.
Yeah.
We can wait another meeting. I was
Yeah.
hoping it would be worded more like this. Council authorizes planning to accept the boardwalk on the site plan without, I don't want to say it, throwing up their hands and saying we don't have the authority to do it. So I'm just saying that planning says yes, correct, how you word it, however you want to word it.
I don't think that holds water legally. I think what we have to stick to what we have the authority, and that would be the easement.
Yeah, I cannot, you know what, to do the engineer, it was, as I said, it's probably going to cost 10, 15,000, maybe more. That takes time.
But you have to have an easement before,
No, I meant not the easement. We got that from the county. We got the resolution 896. What I'm saying is,
no, you don't have an
the
easement.
engineer to tell you, okay, this is 1 foot away from this building and 6 inches from that one. I can put the boardwalk on the site plan, and I can have it, you know, like I say, I can have it to planning before the end of the month.
But the council meeting's before planning, and you need the easement first, right?
Now, the council meetings, you said was January. Is planning in,
I think council is, planning is not having a meeting.
Oh,
this
the
month.
planning's
I think
not
we
having a
voted- we
Because it's
voted it
Christmas,
down
yeah.
Because it's Christmas.
oh, okay.
So it won't be till January
Well,
that we meet again.
And that's fine. I mean, I don't care about all the schematics of it, to be honest with you, Jim, and city council. It's just that what I found is everything takes so long of debating and talking that we don't get anywhere.
No, I do care about details. You know, any easement we grant, there's always dimensions on it.
I cannot tell you the
Always.
exact, I mean, I could try to have the engineer, you know, hustle and spend 10 or 15,000 and show you.
Well, there's only a
But I
couple
don't want to
places
do
we can
that unless I know that council says, yes, we will grant you an easement subject to, you know, but I don't want to
Well, I think you
spend.
know, there's only, unless you're gonna tear your houses down, there's only a couple places, there's a very limited spot there where it can go. So it shouldn't be too hard to put the measurements down on paper.
Well, I only need to worry about the street,
Exactly.
yeah.
And that's all we have the authority to grant, is the street part of it.
So what's the next phase or steps
I
for
would
us
say
to move forward?
let's work on a resolution,
Okay,
and then we'll bring it before council.
okay.
Next meeting.
What do you need from me?
If I may,
What do you need from me?
I did look into this as well. So for the easement portion, obviously the dimensions that go through or above the city street is needed, but there's also the easement that consumers has with the power lines there.
Correct.
So they can't overlap. So
Correct.
really, in terms of what portion overlaps the city street, would be the portion that's addressed within that resolution. Is that correct, Jim?
Yes, because
Yeah.
I don't want to grant something, make you think we're granting something that we have absolutely no authority to
Sure,
grant.
and I talked to the engineer today about the power pole, and he told me there is an easement with the utility company and the street that the city knows about. Now, if you don't know it, I'll have to find
No,
it somewhere.
no, they own it. They own
Yeah,
that
yeah,
easement.
but he said that the city would know about the easement, but he will get that information one way or another, but, yeah, he's under,
We know
we've
about it, but
discussed
we
it.
don't own it. We don't have the authority to, you know, you would work with consumers, I suppose, and they work those things out all the time, so.
Yeah.
But the city can't do it. That's on you.
And
I
I
just
wouldn't
wanna
know
make
where
sure
to
that's
call,
in it.
but I guess I would call the main number and see what happens.
Consumers,
Yeah.
Consumers, they lead you in right
Do
direction.
we have any sort of maps or anything on file with the city that shows exactly where that easement is that we can
We-
offer to Mr.
We have the
Farley?
street, I mean, obviously you can't run a boardwalk right through the power lines.
No, I understand, but do we have anything like a legal document that says the easement goes from this footage here to this footage here?
I don't, we may have something buried somewhere, but Consumers has it on file, and their engineering department could come up with that.
So,
Okay.
Yeah, we are going to be to the south of the power line, by the way. Whatever the utility company requires us, south of it, just so you know.
I think it goes all the way across there, though.
No, I mean, we're not going to go onto the power line. We're going to go south of the power. The power line's here, we're there, kind of thing.
It runs north and south, though, the power line. On the west side of
It runs,
the avenue.
It's right there at that pole, that's the,
yeah, it ends at the pole and it goes, it only actually services my son's house and
I think those are details we don't need to,
yeah,
those are easy.
yeah,
So,
but the power line, yeah, I understand. Yeah, we got to clear
If I
that.
could chime in,
Sure.
Mayor, I believe what Councilor Needing was saying is essentially if it requires a resolution in order to do this portion, there may be a resolution on file with Consumers and their easement.
I don't think so, not with the easements. They own the easements before we were given a city, so,
Copy, okay.
but regardless, they
Yeah,
own it. The city doesn't own it.
Okay.
They own the easement.
Yeah, and I did talk to the engineer today about the power pole, and he told me, yes, there's an easement. Yes, he will drew the drawings to, compensate for the easement. So I know that's out there,
Right,
it just
and I
came
don't
up for
see that
this.
as a sticking point,
Yeah.
to be honest.
I mean, if they say we need to be 10 feet from the pole or 15, whatever it is, we'll do it, obviously.
But are you good with that action? We'll work on a,
I'm good. What I would like to do is I do have the end building already done by the engineer, and it's basically 4416. I went and talked to Mike Dembski on Wednesday. I said, what should I do? I'm in the process of trying to convert it to commercial, but I'm not sure if city council is going to go commercial. I have to keep it residential. He says, well, then don't turn it in until you figure it out. And I go, okay. but I mean, I one of the options I could do is I hate to say this, put a sticker over the top of Lakeside Restaurant and put Lucarelli Residence, and that way I can get them to work. I told the building inspector.
yeah, but you can't run a restaurant out of a residence.
He said, yeah, you could have a residence that's commercial kitchens and commercial inside ADA compliant and everything, and call it your house. He said,
No.
yeah, you can do that, according to Mike Dembski.
That's a use, that's a commercial use, and that's not.
No, you can build your kitchen and your residence commercial. I
Right,
just
you
asked
can't
Mike
invite
Dembski
people
on Wednesday. He said, yes, you can do that. Just tell me which one you want to do.
Right, but you can't invite the public in and serve food
No,
there.
but he could.
No, it'd be an Airbnb. I wouldn't invite him. It'd be an Airbnb. Yeah, I wouldn't have a commercial business. I'm saying from a residential standpoint, rather than wait till January, and maybe I will wait. I got workers chomping at the bit, but I can maybe put them off. I'm saying one way is I'm going to do it anyway. I'm going to build that anyway, whether it be residential, commercial. That building will be that way for whether it be an Airbnb, a glorified Airbnb, or a restaurant.
Okay, careful what you say, because you're.
That's why I asked Mike Dempsey before I came
You
here.
want to use it, you want to do a commercial.
No, I want it to be commercial. What I'm saying is you can, if you wanted to make your house, Jim, the inside, a commercial restaurant, commercial kitchen, and an ADA bathroom, you can do that. You don't have, the Mike Dembski will just say, okay, God love you.
But I can't run a bakery from my.
No, you can't be a commercial operation, but your residents
All right.
I could have it basically made commercial, like by spec, and then, I hate to say it, take the sticker off and then have them look at it. And now it's commercial.
Anyway, I think we've,
And I don't want to go there. I'm just saying,
we've
it might be a way that I can
well
keep the
over our
guys
10
moving, to work, that's all. I don't want it to be residential, but that's always up to
I
the
think it's
city.
time to move on, because
Okay.
we are kind of getting into the threats now.
I'm just saying what
I don't- I
Mike
really don't wanna go there.
Mike told me.
I think we're on a good course here. don't
I am,
wanna mess that up.
I'm loving it. Thank you, guys, and
thank
thank
you
you,
for your time.
everybody. And I do want to
Okay.
get with Dewey and the planning, pre-planning people, and keep this moving, because I want city input. I don't want this to be about me. I want it to be about the city.
Yep, we can do that.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you.
Moving on to the mayor's report. I have some explaining to do, I think. I'm usually a pretty healthy guy. Thanksgiving, my pancreas tried to kill me, basically. And the scary thing about that is your pancreas can do that in a matter of hours. I went in the hospital. I was in the hospital all of the Thanksgiving holiday. Got out and was in terrible shape, pretty wrung out, worse than I wanted to admit. Really rested up the following week and missed some things throughout the city. I appreciate everybody's support on that. I am on the mend. You can probably tell my voice. It's not what it usually is, but it's better. And, I'm feeling much better. So I really appreciate your cares and your thoughts and your prayers there. I'd like to thank Dawn and Jay, who stepped up with the Christmas tree lighting and did the music, did a wonderful job there. Diana and the Parks and Rec, Chris, the fire department, all the things you did. Really appreciate that, and appreciate everybody that stepped in and stepped up to that. I hope to be caught back up by the end of this week and then back to normal next week. We did have some really important business. We had a special meeting. Pam Sanner was selected as our new treasurer at a special meeting, and she has given her notice. December 18th, I think, is her start date. And Dee is working right now 2 days a week, keeping us up, and she will be training Pam in the things that she needs to learn. And in the meantime, we've been reaching out to one other county treasurer that may be able to work at a part-time basis 1 day a week or something. We still may use that resource. I told her it's situation's fluid right now, but we'll keep that in mind, because it's a massive job and it's a lot of work. Somebody who did it for 34 years, it's just really hard for somebody else to step in. With that, I'm glad to be back in the mayor's seat and try to catch up on things and get things done going forward. That's all I have for my mayor's report. Any questions?
Glad you're okay, Jim.
Thank you. I feel much better. Police department reports. Chief Andre.
Good evening. Just real short, the manpower issue in Luna Pier is still, we'll use fluid. We lost one of our officers. We're down to 6. We had 7. And the officer we lost was one of the officers that worked 8 days a month, 8 to 12 hours every shift. So he will be missed. He left for full-time employment for Roseville. I sort of expected that he would be leaving, but it just, when it happens, it happens, and we're scrambling to fill the spots. But we got them filled. I did start a background on an officer today, where I started last week. Hopefully be completed by Christmas to have him on January schedule. We're still waiting on a review from MCOLS on another officer that I submitted 5 months ago, and we thought it would be back before Thanksgiving, and we're hoping before Christmas. And then we'll be hoping for the new year, and then hopefully right after the new year. But we should hear something soon. Vehicle maintenance, not really maintenance, but with the new patrol car, we're everybody in the department's excited, sort of scrambling to get it outfitted and pick up the graphics. We're gonna keep basically the same graphics we have, but a little bit different. We want to add the city logo on it. Matching the color scheme might be a little bit off for that, but we want to put that on there because I think that is important, and I do like the it being a city car having that logo on it. Interesting thing with the beach in the pier. I can't say the word. The Sage. People were all over it. People from all over the country were in and it wasn't crowded, but cars were coming in and out, and they were way out walking it. They were out on the pier. They were going out to the old pilings. I've always heard about the old pilings, and then like I said in here, it was really cool to see them because it sort of puts stuff in perspective with the history of the city, where it was and how it came out, and it was just interesting. But it was a big thing for a lot of people to come see, whatever the word is, sight. And I guess it was one of the biggest ones in 40 years, 50 years, something like that. Blight, we worked together with the building department to solve some issues on Allen Cove. with the fence. If it's a fence, if it's not a fence, if it's a bush, or it was something. But we got it settled. It's gonna grow again, so in probably a year, we'll be out there again trying to solve the issue. So it's sort of temporary, but hopefully the neighbors will start getting along better. A long-time issue on Lakewood with the fence was fixed finally. I don't know if they got from the accident or whatever, but they got the fence up. I didn't do a blight report because I was way behind, and that's why this wasn't on the agenda. And I apologize. I will have one for January, but that's basically the two major things that happened. There was a couple other things, but I had to go through my logs to get them. As for officers training, I have 2 officers signed up. MCLOS is mandating training, and the big one is like in psychological help or psychological patients, how to deal with them, know how to recognize if they're in crisis or whatnot. So free class came up in Troy. The only thing we have to do is get the officers there. So I figured it was cheaper to pay for gas and sign up for one in Monroe that costs $300 a person. So they're signed up for Troy. It's a behavioral, I don't understand the title, but Behavioral Health Emergency Partnership. That's what it's called. But it's regarding dealing with people in crisis. And that's one of the mandatory classes, so I have 2 of the officers going. I'll try to find more classes for the rest of the guys. I know 2 of them already had it, so that leaves the other, me and another guy, Webb, to fill that spot to get those classes in. New equipment, we did get a camera system. One of my guys is installing it. Little hiccup the other day with the phone system, but that was short-lived, about a day. But one of the big things I wanted was, I don't know, if you come to the police station, there's a sign on the door that says, if no officers here, contact Monroe County Dispatch. And then you have to call dispatch, they have to call us. So we have a doorbell camera now, and if it's not a ring, but if you're familiar with the ring, you can now talk to the people through a phone. So we have department issued phones that, through the parking authority or whatever, Kelly Laro bought them for us years ago. But we're gonna put the app on there, so we'll have that in the car. So someone dings the doorbell, we're out on the street, we should be able to, talk to them, see what they need, go to their house if we need you, they can just say, okay, we'll meet you at your house, or we'll meet you at the station. So I figured that's way better than the old system. We also have, it's really expandable. The guy that's doing it for us is, he knows way more than I do. But you can put links in and all this, and you can take the stuff back to the station, and you can actually put license plate readers on it, where it doesn't, all it does is reads a license plate and then puts it in a database. It doesn't run it through any system or anything like that. But if anything did occur, we could go and have if this is the future, have a camera like on Pier Road, on the exiting the city. So if something got robbed or a house got broken into, and people are exiting, it would be able to document the plate went by, a car went by with that plate on it.
So like a flock camera, is that what they
It's
call
sort of
those?
like Flock, but Flock runs it and then sends alerts. All this does, it's a system that, I hate the word AI, I guess that's 2 words, or 2 letters. AI, artificial intelligence. It uses artificial intelligence to zone in on the plate, capture it, and then put it in a database. So it just
Okay.
records it, and it goes in our system. It doesn't go out anywhere else. It's just recorded in our computer's database. And then if we need it, we can go in, and within the last 30 days, we can find every plate that exited the city.
Okay.
That's all in the time frame they did it. So I don't really like the Flock system is phenomenal. It's also very expensive, but I also think there's some issues with it. So I didn't want to go that route. Basically, for the money is
Right.
the biggest reason. But I didn't like the other stuff where it's a private company that owns it, and they can sell the information. They can do this, they can do that. Even though they say they don't, but you don't know what they will do in the future if they face financial hardship.
Right.
So I didn't like the Flock system, but it just records it in our computer. Last thing is the turkey trot. Because it was the first annual turkey trot. I guess they had done a couple 5Ks before. It was a big success. It was put on by moderate success because the weather was cold. It was put on by Bobby Staff, which is a local charity that helps out Mason School. It was a 5K and a 1 mile fun run, which is an oxymoron to me, a fun run. But it was fun to see the locals out. It was really fun to see the local commissioners and councilmen and former councilmen and their wives running it, just to see them in a different light. And I'm not gonna say who won, but there was winners and losers. One of our local guys did come in third place. The two guys in front of him were, one was, I think they said he was 15. The other guy was like 20 from the college, and they flew. They were fast. And the local guy, he was a couple hundred yards behind them, but still impressive. The fun run, they didn't have as many kids show up because it was so cold. They had probably like 10, 12. The winner of that was actually the son of the guy that came in third place. It was a good time. Not much, no trouble at all. Just a little cold. Any questions?
Appreciate all of the trash talk while I was trying to breathe the cold air.
I won't say who won.
I'll have you know, I placed second in my age group out of 2, so.
Thank you, Chief. Anything to add from our fire chief, Chief Denias?
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
All right. First of all, a couple different things. The country has gone from NFIRS, which is the reporting system that all fire departments use, to NERIS. Now, this has to be done, no ifs, ands, or buts, by January 1st, point blank. NFIRS is literally getting turned off. I already switched. I switched November 1st. The problem is, they don't have it all built yet. So when I first started doing it in November, I was realizing there's medical side and there's fire side. It's been this way for a long time. And usually you can go to once you do the medical side, you go to the fire side, you tell it to bring this report over, and you finish the fire side. They didn't have that connection done yet. It didn't happen until like the 16th of November, or 19th, my apologies. Anyways, so I figured that out because I called and was like, I can't get it to do it. And they said, well, it's not built yet, sorry. So the report side of it, which I tried to do December 1st to do so I can send you guys a report, it wasn't working. It was driving me nuts. So I called them up and said, hey, what's going on? Well, I'm sorry, it's not built yet. So, hence the reason you don't actually have a fire report in front of you. But we did switch. We're just waiting for technically them to catch up. Hopefully by January, they'll have everything straightened out to where we can use it like we're supposed to. Now, that's the good news.
Uh-oh.
Yes, unfortunately. I'm hoping that you have in front of you, I know, what was it, a few months ago I came and said basically that we need our roof fixed. We're kind of to the point where we really need our roof fixed. We found a 30-gallon bucket full of water in our attic. I don't know if it got placed there by accident or it was, hey, look, there's a drip, maybe we ought to put this there. And nobody said anything about it, but it was dead full. We had to take a pump up there, pump it out. Anyways, so I went out and I asked for bids. I called 5 different companies, only 3 responded. And hopefully in front of you, you should have the, not only the bids, but also some pictures of the actual underside of the roof. It's getting bad. There's the overhangs on the west and the east side. There are literal holes. You can stand on the ground, look straight up through the roof. And the reason why they haven't ruined anything else yet is because those holes drain right straight onto the ground, so they haven't hurt anything yet. But they're still there. It's only a matter of time till they keep going. We And also in this bid, you can see that we had bids from back in 2016, and they were for $23,000 and $24,000, depending on how thick we wanted the roof. There it is. Then in 24, we got a bid for $59,000, and I think that's the one I brought to you and said, hey, look, this is what we have, or this is the bid we have. And I know everybody was going, really? Well, in front of you, you have 3 bids from this past week, because that's when I got them. One of them is for $65,371. One of them is for $86,500. The other one is $93,600. And as much as I hate to say this, I guarantee you they're not going to get any better. If we wait months, they're going to go up. And again, I know there's no way any of this can come out of my budget, because I think my budget is what, $48,000, and that's for everything. So unfortunately, I'm going to have to ask council for somehow to get some or most of the money. But again, I don't have a choice to anything else. We got to fix the roof. The roof that's on there now, coincidentally, was put in somewhere in 1980. We figure it's either between 85 and about 88, nearest we can guess, because Frank said it got put on right after he joined, and he joined in 84. So now don't get me wrong, it's been fixed, patched a couple of times here and there, but basically that's when the actual roof really got put on. So I think we've actually got our use out of it. But other than that, I don't see any other way of fixing it, because if we don't, sooner or later we're going to start ruining more stuff inside the department. We've already had to fix the whole kitchen, replace the floor, which was asbestos tiles, cost money. The ceiling tiles, we had to replace all of them because it just wiped them all out. Repainting, stuff like that. And it's only time before it actually starts getting stuff that's really expensive. And unfortunately, it's kind of like buying a Harley. Anything that says Harley on it is expensive. Anything that says fire department is expensive. So, questions?
Yep. Go ahead.
What's the time frame? Did they tell you to do it? Like,
Well-
would they do it in the dead of winter?
That's what I was gonna ask.
I had one company tell me that they could only do it if they had a window of 3 to 4 days of 40-degree weather. Now, does that mean they're going to hold this bid for how many months until it gets to that temperature? I don't know, but that's what they explained. Now, if we get close to getting the price tag for it, then I guess we can go back to them and say, okay, tell me what you need as far as weather and whatever to do this, because more than likely we're gonna have to turn around and we have stuff in our attic that we'll probably take plastic and cover just to keep it protected while they do it, because as you can see in some of those pictures, the boards are literally
Yeah.
bowing.
I mean, because if they start it one day and then you get a big snowstorm the next day, there goes your window.
Unfortunately, I agree with you. Now, I did have one company tell me, and I'm assuming that if we gave a contract to somebody, that they would probably do the same thing. They said, if we need to, we can come out, we can put tarps over it, just to cover it until the time is. We even thought about, at the fire hall, we were asking, well, why couldn't we put a peaked roof on that thing, or, something, because instead of a flat roof, which is basically what it is, but apparently the construction-wise is not feasible. My opinion from a long time ago was we should turn around, build a brand new building, house the fire department, the police department, and city hall all in one. It'd be a brand new building. We could tear all those down, sell that property to somebody. It's prime real estate, but that's you're talking probably 2-3 million to do that. So
Now, we did do some searching, with Charlie today and looking, and I don't know if we're gonna have to cut into reserves or whatever, but obviously, we're gonna have to look into where do we find the money to do it?
And again,
Because-
I'm not saying which one to take. I mean, we can obviously say that, hey, the $65,000 one is the cheapest one. We should probably try and go for that. And if that's what you guys agree on, I'm good with it too. And then I can turn around and start actually talking to that company and saying, hey, let's come down to nitty gritty. All I did was go out and tell them I need new bids. Cause I wanted to find out, what are people gonna charge us? And as you can tell, it's a big difference between companies. Now, I would hope they're all doing apples to apples, oranges to oranges. And the way I got it figured, it sounds kind of like, yes, they are. I've had a couple that send, well, I don't know, excuse me, Charlie, did you actually print out the bids? Or just the?
We
price
have in
tag?
our council packet.
Okay,
I'm looking at them right here.
well, some of them sent little, things that show, hey, we use this, and then this foam, and this tartar put over it, and then this over that, and then this over the top of that, and do I understand that? No, I work for AT&T, if it ain't a phone line or a data line, that's not me, so.
I don't see.
Anyways, anything else?
I don't see,
It's in here. Oh, okay.
is it just this section right here inside of the council packet, or was there more to it?
If you keep
No,
going, you'll
there's-
see more. Oh, yeah, that section.
Yeah, this section right here.
Yeah, obviously, you know,
I mean, the actual, it looks like what you have is our PowerPoint presentation, but we actually have the bids that I thought did we send them? Did I send you copies of those?
I don't think I
Yeah.
got all of them, did I?
I don't,
There should be 3, and in those 3 emails, it's not a lot of information, but it does say, hey,
Yeah.
we're gonna do this and this and this, and it's pretty technical,
Yeah.
but.
Yeah, when you
Obviously,
mentioned
we're not-
materials, I didn't-
we're not prepared to give the okay tonight, but.
No,
I mean,
and I
but
kind of
we-
figured
we
it
will
wasn't
put all
gonna
that
happen
together.
tonight. But then
Yeah.
again, like
We
I
have
said
to
last
assume
time, and
it's-
I apologize for saying it this way, but if the roof caves in tomorrow, I don't want somebody, why didn't you tell me? I'm sorry,
No.
but believe it or not, the one in 2016, I think is the one that I got when I first became chief.
So, yeah, we will definitely put that on the front burner.
So, and it's just something that it's gotta get done. I mean, I hate to say it, but yes, it has to be done. If we can figure out a better way to do it, I'm all ears. But
We have our charge.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Moving on to the building report, I won't go into detail, it's in the packet, it is looking good, a lot of investment in the city, we always like to hear that. And Mike Dembski is very busy in the building office. Committee reports, starting with DDA, anything, Dewey, do you want to add?
Nothing in particular to add. We had the presentation from Mr. Lucarelli here, so
Okay.
that was our motion from our last one.
Okay, and flood, I don't have anything from that. Parks and Rec, some great events over the holidays.
Right, that's it.
Okay. Planning, I don't think there's anything new there right now, unless you have something, Shawnee?
Nope, no, it's just that the date is wrong for the meeting, because we're not doing a December meeting.
Okay, yep. Yeah. Christmas comes but once a year, so. Moving on to old business, obviously, the lighthouse bathroom upgrades, we have our quotes, but the fire department roof is gonna take a priority, I have to say that. It's still there, but we our crisis right now is that roof. Still looking for a blight committee chair. I think there are I've been looking into some resources that are available to us for upgrades, programs to remodel houses that need repair. Several resources that we're looking into, and I think it would be very helpful with a blight committee to explore those resources and make them available to people, let them know. It is a lot of causes for blight, and there's a lot of solutions. So we'll dig right into that probably into January. Part-time city administrator, I know there's a lot of work in that. Going with our treasurer search, there's that cut into that a little bit, but we are moving forward. And is that correct, Dewey?
That's
Anything
correct,
on that?
yeah. So we're still pending some responses from like municipalities. I did give a brief update in our special meeting, but we sorted the list. We reached out to the Michigan Municipal League, tongue twister. There's around 15 like communities like ours, and we reached out to each individual one, did some research on the charter, what it is that sprung forward, and how they codified their city administrator position. I personally, from my list of 5, we split it 5-5-5 between myself, Connie, and Councilor Wakeman. I heard back from 2 people out of the 5. So there's follow-ups, phone calls need to be made, but we did get some very valuable information. I know that Connie's been uploading information into our shared drive as well. So it's very interesting to hear about the advent of city administrators and the ebb and flow of that.
Yep, and Anthony is here, who we need to talk to. I see him taking notes there. I was talking to him extensively about our treasurer position and some different things before I kind of fell off the face of the earth there for a little bit. But I'm coming back, and I want to introduce you to our committee. Thank you. So we'll talk after the meeting.
Sure.
New business, fire department officer recommendations. You have them there before you. I don't think there's any changes there. Chief, assistant chief, and then what's David Gardner?
He's an assistant chief also.
2 assistant chief, okay. 2 very good candidates, longtime firefighters, who are very committed to our city, really know their stuff. Request for refund for a sewage use fee. This is a case where, unfortunately, we lost one of our residents, a tragic case, and you read the story there. Tim Dunn, just the nicest guy. I'm sure if the name doesn't, if you don't come up with a face, you know the guy. He's been through the committee, nicest guy. We see him in the community. It's really a great loss, and you heard the story there that they didn't know it, but he was out watering when he passed away, and they didn't realize for a few days. I did some math there. If you do an average, if you average the 2 previous bills, I think they come up to average of $52.61 for the sewage portion of the bill, where none of this water went through the sewage. So the sewage portion of the bill, when the hose was running and all the water was going up outside, was $364, much higher than the $52 average. If you do the subtraction, $311.42, I think, is a fair refund, because the best that we can calculate, that's how much water went on the ground and did not come through our treatment plant. So if
You said how much?
$311.42 is what that's the average. $52.61 is the average between September and October, and then November is when they had the high bill. So if you say that bill should have been $52 instead of $364, subtract the difference, you get $311.42. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yes.
The budget amendments, anything to explain there, Charlie?
Are there any questions?
Nope, great job.
Thank you, Charlie.
Great job. Very visible.
Yep. And we have Parks and Rec Committee nomination for reappointment of Becky Polka. does a fine job. And then Sarah, I see Sarah is there. Would you mind coming up and presenting our audit results? Sorry to keep you waiting there.
No, it's okay. Thank you for.
I understand you had a
waiting for me.
commitment. Thank you. This is Sarah, our auditor.
Thank you.
From Calkins, Hale and Rathco.
Well, good evening. Thank you for having me here tonight. We've done the audit for many years now, and it was a good audit this year, so I was very pleased. Given the change in staff, Charlie did a great job, Kelly did great, so we were really happy. I will try to make this as brief as possible. The first couple pages of your audit is our independent auditor's report. And it says in the second paragraph on page 1, in our opinion, the accompanying financial statements present fairly in all material respects the financial position of the city. So this is what we call an unmodified opinion. It's the best audit opinion you can get. The second letter on pages 4 and 5 is our independent auditor's report on internal control in accordance with government auditing standards. So this letter is in your audit because you have federal funding. If the federal funding went away, this would go away, and some of the reporting we would have to do would get, we would have fewer requirements. But in this letter, in the third paragraph, in the middle of it, we define a material weakness as the deficiency or combination of deficiencies in internal control where there's a reasonable possibility that a material misstatement would not be prevented or detected and corrected on a timely basis. We had 2 material weaknesses for you this year. They're both very common to have for the size of your entity. The first one is financial statement preparation. So because we prepare this big, beautiful blue book for you, we're considered not fully independent. So we have to disclose that. When we submit your audit to the state, they say we have to fill out a form, and one of the questions is, do you have material weaknesses other than financial statement preparation? So it's very common. The state, I would say probably the majority of municipalities in the state get that comment, but again, it's just something we have to disclose. And then the second weakness we have is for journal entry preparation. So we post quite a few journal entries during the audit for year-end accruals, changes in depreciation, that type of thing. Again, this is very common to have for your size entity. It doesn't make sense for you to hire an internal accountant that can do all of this. So we basically just say you've evaluated the cost versus benefit and you feel it's in your best interest to have us do that. So again, very common comment, but something that has to be disclosed. And then on the next page, that very last sentence in the first paragraph states, the results of our tests disclose no instances of non-compliance or other matters that are required to be reported under government auditing standards. So that's a good, clean comment to have. The next few pages is your management's discussion and analysis. I don't typically spend any time on it at this meeting, but I just like to point it out. It's a good read. It's an easier read than the financial statement disclosure, so I just really encourage you to read it. But for now, if you jump to page 59, we will look at some of the numbers. So pages 59 and 60 is your general fund activity. We show your original budget, the final budget, the actual amounts, and then that last column is the variance between the final budget and your actual numbers. So looking down the actual column, property tax revenues totaled $617,000. That was up about $33,000 from last year. Your licenses and permits were $176,000. They were right in line with the prior year. Federal grant revenues were about $14,000. That includes the SAFER grant and some house raising grants. And those were down significantly from last year because last year we had the ARPA funds. State grants totaled $178,000. Your state shared revenue was up a little bit. The local community stabilization was down. This also was significantly lower from last year because last year you received a state pension grant for about $874,000. That was just a one-time thing. Charges for services were $4,600. Fines and forfeits were about $11,000. Those were right in line with the prior year. Interest income, $31,000. That was up $7,000. Rentals were $77,000. They were up from the prior year. And then other revenues totaled $43,000. They were up about $24,000. You had some election reimbursements this year and also some grants for trees and pickleball. So total revenues were about $1.1 million. On the next page are your expenditures. General government expenses totaled $637,000. The biggest increases we saw were in election expenses and city administration. If we take out the pension grant, because last year we had the corresponding expense, that was up about $70,000. That covered the bat removal in the city hall and then also the water heater. Public safety, you had $27,000 for the police department. That was down about $10,000 from last year. And your fire department was $73,000. That was down about $16,000. Your building inspection was consistent at about $30,000. Public works totaled $148,000. That was up from last year. Community and economic development was $11,000. That was down significantly because last year that's where all the house raising activity was. Rec and culture, $71,000, and debt service, $65,000. Those were right in line with the prior year. You transferred out $19,000 to the police fund. So you increased your fund balance $64,000 and ended with a fund balance of $1.2 million. The capital outlay in this fund included turnout gear, 2 life packs, the lighthouse elevator and camera, and then the bathroom plumbing and water heater. The next fund is your major street fund. Revenues here totaled $158,000. They were up $12,000 from last year. Expenses were $73,000. You had an increase in your fund balance of $85,000 and ended with a fund balance just shy of $566,000. The local street fund on the next page had total revenues of $85,000. They were up about $6,000. Expenses totaled $42,000. So here you increased your fund balance $42,000, ended with a fund balance of $369,000. The police millage fund had total revenues of $106,000. That was up about $8,000. Almost all of that was in your property taxes. Expenses were $128,000. They were up about $8,000 as well. You transferred in that $19,000 from the general fund. So in this fund, you had a decrease in your fund balance of $3,600, ended with a fund balance of $8,900. The garbage and rubbish collection fund had assessments of $76,000 and expenses of $62,000. So there was an increase here of $13,000 and the fund balance ended at $57,000. The DDA fund had property tax revenues of $46,000 and expenses of $524. So here you had an increase in your fund balance of $46,000, ended with about $110,000. And then no activity in the community development fund. The fund balance ended at $22,860. Page 67 is your flood control facilities fund. Here total revenues were $64,000. They were up a little bit from last year. Expenses were about $120,000. They were up quite a bit. You had the Memorial Park pump this year, which cost $77,000. So here you decrease your fund balance $54,000 and ended with a fund balance of $273,000. The next 2 pages detail out your net pension liability. The highlights here on page 68, that first column, the last double underlined number, your total net pension liability was $1.7 million. That was down about $177,000 from last year, so it's definitely going in the right direction. This is all very heavily weighted on the market as well. And then the next page, your required contributions for your net pension liability was $344,000, and all of those were made, so no issues there. The next page shows a very similar schedule, but this is for your net OPEB liability, which is your retiree health. This one's a little bit different because you're a pay-as-you-go, but your net OPEB liability at the end of the year was about 101,000. That was up about 4,000 from last year. And again, this is based on actuarial valuations. And then page 72 is the activity for the wastewater treatment plant fund. Total revenues here, total operating revenues were 674,000. They were down a little bit from last year. Total operating expenses were 484,000. You had 79,000 in interest expense. So here you increased your net position almost 110,000 and ended with a net position of 1.6 million. The next two pages is your schedule of expenditures of federal awards. This just details out each of the federal grants that you received. So you had a little bit of house raising, the Operation Stone Garden, and then the SAFER grant. So the total federal grants this year were 15,845. And then we'll just hit a couple of your footnotes. So if you jump back to page 38, the first couple pages of your footnotes are just your accounting policies. They haven't changed at all from last year, so we won't spend any time on those. Note 4 is your deposit footnote. In that second to last paragraph titled Custodial Credit Risk, we show that you had 3.7 million invested in checking accounts and money markets. Of that, you had FDIC insurance of over 3 million, which left your uninsured deposits of 634,000. That's actually really good. It would be tough to insure all of your cash. And I do want to point out that the last time we did your audit was in 2023, and your uninsured balance is down about 1.4 million. So a lot of cash was moved into these ICS accounts that get full FDIC coverage, and they also have good interest rates. So that was just a really good move on your part to do. Note 5 is your interfund payable and receivable footnote. This just shows what each fund owed the other funds at the end of the year. Note 6 shows the transfer from the general fund to the police millage fund. Note 7 is your capital asset footnote. I think I had all of the additions we had when we looked at each fund.
Yeah.
The net capital assets at year end were 1.8 million. The next page is the same schedule but for your wastewater treatment plant fund, and the addition here of 6980 was for a refrigerator. Your net capital assets here were 3.9 million. Note 8 shows your long-term debt schedules. So your long-term debt total at the end of the year was about 3.5 million, and all of the debt payments were made according to plan. Skipping ahead to page 47. Note 9 is your lease revenue footnote, and we show your cell tower lease. You have 1 year left on it, and the income will be about 24,000. My guess is that this will be automatically renewed. Note 10 is your building department footnote. We show that the fees collected of 28,433 did not exceed the related costs and administrative overhead. That footnote is just saying that it's okay to keep your building department within the general fund because it's not operating at a profit. That's pretty common for municipalities. Note 11 is your property tax footnote. We show that your taxable value was 55 million, and we show the mills levy for each fund. Note 12 is your sewer use charge footnote. This is just talking about the different rates. They didn't change. Note 13 is your defined benefit pension plan footnote. Most of this information comes directly from the actuarial evaluation from MERS, and we pretty much hit the highlights of it when we looked at those schedules. So if you jump to page, didn't write that one down, page 57. Note 19 is your joint venture footnote. This is disclosing the joint venture you have with South County Water. We show that your share of the bond issue is just over 3%. And then we show South County Water's financials as of December 31st because that's their year end. And I think that's pretty much all the highlights. Does anybody have any questions for me?
Thank you.
All right.
Can I get that last one?
You know what? Can I run one more for you? This is still my draft because it had all my notes in it. I'll run one more for you.
I do have mine, one ahead from my office too. Okay.
All right. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah. And I will add that this really is an open book. Anytime anybody wants to stop in City Hall and look through this, we can do that. We get a lot of questions about where's the money go. It's a hard thing to answer, but this shows where it is, where we think we're getting our head above water, and if 40-year-old roof or 50-year-old roof starts leaking on us and things like that. So I invite you to look these things over, and we're always looking for ways to save money. Thank you, Sarah. And I will say some of the road funding is starting to build up, but we do have some road projects in the works here. Gagne Road, one of them, we applied for category B funding, which is type of federal funding. We were turned down. So we are moving forward with some of the engineering quotes on that. And that, it looks like it's building up, but we're gonna do at least one local road. I would love to do Harold Drive, but I don't have $1 million, and it's gonna be more than $1 million to do that road. So we're doing what we can. And we appreciate all your support. Moving on to community input. The floor is open to anybody who wants to comment to council or tell us what you think. Good or bad, we need to hear it. The floor is open. Ken? If you just state your name and where you live.
Yep, Ken Massman. I live at 4343 South First Street, 20-year resident of the city. Really happy with the numbers I'm hearing. I'm glad to see we're starting to come ahead. It's a little less scary. Thinking about the city going down instead of coming up, it's sounding really good. I really hope you guys take the opportunity to look over the packets Mike gave you guys. And if there's any questions that you don't feel is getting answered or you can't reach Mike, feel free to call me, 734-652-4833, and I'll try and purvey any messages back and forth or anything I can do to help facilitate. Be happy to help out.
Thank you, Ken.
Thank you.
Excuse me, Ken,
Yep.
can you spell your last name?
Massman, M-A-S-S-M-A-N.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ken. Anybody else? If not, I'll close the community input section of the meeting. We'll move on to council action. Item A, Fire Department Officer Recommendation for 2026.
I propose a motion to approve the 2026 officer recommendations for the Luna Pier Volunteer Fire Department as presented, waiving the reading.
Support.
We have a motion, we have support. Any discussion on that? I would like to read Chief Robert Denias, Assistant Chief Derek Welton, and Assistant Chief David Gardner are the three for the public. We don't have any other comments? A motion, we have support. We'll go to a roll call vote.
Wong,
Yes.
Perry,
Yes.
Eden,
Yes.
Katulski,
Yes.
Osluper,
Yes.
Mayor Gardner.
Yes, thank you very much. Motion carried. Request for refund of sewer fee.
I propose a motion to approve Jay Dunn's request for the refund of sewage usage fee for the amount of $311.42 as presented, waiving the reading.
Support.
We have motion, we have multiple support. I'll let Charlie choose. Any discussion on that? Let's do a roll call vote.
Eden,
Yes.
Katulski,
Yes.
Osluper,
Yes.
Wong,
Yes.
Perry,
Yes.
Mayor Gardner.
Yes. Thank you very much. Motion carried. Budget amendments. Do I have a motion?
I propose a motion to approve the budget amendments as presented, waiving the reading.
Support.
We have a motion. We have support. Any discussion? Roll call vote.
Wong,
Yes.
Skatulski,
Yes.
Perry,
Yes.
Osluper,
Yes.
Needing,
Yes.
Mayor Gardner.
Yes. Thank you very much. Motion carried. Parks and Rec Committee nomination for reappointment. Do I have a motion?
I propose a motion to approve the reappointment of Rebecca Polka to the Parks and Rec Committee for a 4-year term ending 1/15/2030 as nominated by Mayor Gardner.
Support.
We have a motion. We have support. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. Becky does a great job, and we're really fortunate to have her on our Parks and Rec Commission. I'll say it again, they really got it going on. 2024-2025 audit. Do I have a motion?
I propose a motion to approve the 2024-2025 audit as presented, waiving the reading.
Support.
We have a motion. We have support. Do you have that, Charlie? Any discussion?
She went through it pretty fast, but the numbers look good.
Yes, yes. Yes, I mean, we've really struggled for a lot of years, and we're headed, you know, we could almost point to the day when we would reach insolvency, so it's really good to kind of turn that around. And like I said, we don't sit on the money, we reinvest it in the city, and we try to get absolute most we can for our residents' money. With that, do I have a roll call vote?
Perry,
Yes.
Needing,
Yes.
Skatulski,
Yes.
Wong,
Yes.
Osluper,
Yes.
Mayor Gardner.
Yes, thank you very much. Motion carried. Council input information, I'll start this side.
I don't really have a whole lot. I do want to say thank you to the DDA for all the work that you've done with Mike Lucarelli and hearing his ideas and visions, and the very detailed email that was forwarded to everybody with all the very good questions and also very good answers, and I appreciate the effort being put forth into it. Thank you.
Councilor Perry.
Thanks Chris Bouchat for stepping up for the Freedom Fest. Everybody appreciates that
Oh,
one.
wow.
Yes.
Good for her.
So she
Yes.
is chair.
Yep, and this is a big one coming up. 100 years on our pier. In July will be 100 years, so this is a reason to celebrate, really. Thank her for that. Moving down, Councilor Boswooper,
I have nothing.
Councilor Skatulski.
Just my apologies for being late tonight.
Apology, accept.
Thank you.
Dewey.
Thank you,
Owen?
Diana, for being late on my behalf.
You're welcome. It was my turn.
Okay, general information. We probably will not meet on Christmas Eve or Christmas Day for our council meeting, but City Hall will be closed Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, December 4th and 25th, and New Year's Eve again on December 31st and January 1st. Future meeting dates, February, FEP, scheduled for December 16th. I don't know if we will have that. We'll announce it later, but it is planned. Planning, Tuesday, December 23rd.
No.
I don't believe that is going
January
to.
27th.
Okay, January 27th will be
Yes.
the next one. Please note that. DDA, Tuesday, December 23rd. Is that still a go?
I believe so.
Okay. I cannot be at that one, just so.
No, understood.
City Council, Thursday, December 25th is when it's scheduled. I will not be here.
I
I
won't
don't
be
think
here.
we're gonna have a quorum on that day.
I apologize.
Yeah.
If I could renege on that statement, actually, we did move it up to the 16th.
Oh, 16th on,
Yeah.
okay, we'll get that published as needed in accordance with the Open Meetings Act, December 16th.
Can I interrupt and add something real
Sure.
quick that just popped into my head? It was brought to my attention recently that, and I didn't even go and look and verify, that apparently the calendar on the city website still shows the DDA meeting at Water Tower Park instead of at, the Lighthouse, and I guess
Yeah, I think we fixed that.
did it get fixed?
Yes.
Okay,
Fixed it a while ago, yeah.
like
Yeah.
within the last month, or?
I'll check if it's in two places, but I know I fixed
That
it.
that
Okay.
did cause some confusion.
Yeah.
Is it in two places?
Yeah, it may be in two.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay, thank you. Yep, we will. City Council Thursday, January 8th, here at Water Tower Park. Parks and Rec, Tuesday, January 13th, at the library. That's all I have. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
I make a motion to adjourn.
support.
You got support? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Meeting adjourned. Thank you very much.
So I wanna know where you tied Chris up at.
Oh,